I've come to realise that I'm never going to be fully integrated, never fully French, never completely at one with the French. And I was beginning to come to this realisation this summer because it seems to me, and it is only my perspective obviously, that in France there's this whole shift to summer and the summer season. And obviously you saw in a previous video there's lots of cultural events, lots of things going on, lots of places that you can go to, that you can see. And last night there was a um, a fire dancing spectacle at the Abbey that we had really enjoyed, something similar. It may well have been the same several years ago. And I said to Mark, we went to put the chickens away. I know it was about 9 o'clock, and I went, "There's the fire dancing thing at the Abbey this evening. Starts at, it says 10 o'clock, but I know from last time it didn't really start till 11, and stuff that says it's going to start at 10 doesn't start till 11." And I mean, he wasn't feeling brilliant yesterday, but actually neither of us felt that we could get ourselves in gear and motivated to go out at that time of night. And I'm not sure. He thinks it's an age thing, and I'm not sure it's an age thing. I just think that we don't. I don't, or we don't have the same body clock. You know, we weren't brought up in this country where there is a shift in summer, where life is full in summer, and things go on late in the evening and late into the evening and on into the early hours of the morning. Um, I remember years ago being in Spain and sort of laying in bed in my hotel room thinking, okay, shut the fuck up, to the people that were busy enjoying life at 1 o'clock in the morning when I wanted to go to sleep. And it was, it could have been summer. I think it might have been. But here, I can recall we were, and this is years and years ago, this is like, I don't know, 13 years ago, was delivering a check to Cleo that I'd obviously bought a painting from her. I was taking money to her, and whilst we were out, we were coming back from somewhere, and I went, if we go down here, we can drop this check through the door, you know. So we dropped the check through the door, and it was probably about 11 o'clock at night, maybe even later. And we got caught dropping the check through the door by Cleo and Etienne. And then, oh, well, they come in, come in. And we were there till 1 o'clock in the morning. And you wouldn't, can you imagine in the UK somebody rocking up to your house at 11 o'clock at night and you happily inviting them in and sharing drinks and chatting and all of that? But that's what we did. And I mean, that was 13 years ago. We were younger, but even then it felt, when they sort of said, "Oh, come in," I went, "No, no, no, it's okay. We don't want to disturb you," but they wanted us to come in. And I can remember another time with them, again, probably 12 years ago, rushing off into the middle of the night to somewhere not far from here, it turns out, but we're rushing through the French countryside in the dark, following in it like a convoy. Etienne was going to a place to tell his stories, and it was a small place in the sticks. And at the end, they passed the hat, and it was sort of a bit of, well, it wasn't a commune, but you could describe it as like a bit of a hippie commune, self-sufficient, compost toilets. And I can't remember the name of it, but they would have these events. They would have these entertainment. They call them spectacles. They would have had these spectacles every week or something. I can remember they did astronomy ones because they really are in the sticks, so they could do some really good, dark sky, nighttime sky. But anyway, we went off into the countryside following them, and we hadn't known them for long. Following them, got there, and then they passed the hat, and you could put whatever you wanted into the hat, and we got fed, venison and some vegetables, and the venison was obviously either come from the hunt or roadkill or something, but we were fed, and it was just astonishing. But you see, my body clock is British. My body clock is, and again, I'm making assumptions. Maybe there are British people that are out there, living it up in the summer. But it isn't anything it's not something that I've ever done. I haven't really noticed a shift in my energy from season to season. My energy is pretty constant, and um, so yeah, there's a big thing. It's really quite quiet. We went to the shop, the local, the Intermarché earlier to pick up some maize for the chickens, and the car park was quite empty. It was 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Car park quite empty, and this is the big weekend. There may have been quite a few people coming last weekend, but this weekend is the big weekend. It's whatever the date is today, but like this weekend is August, and August is, it's holiday time. It's everybody's gone off, goes off on holiday. So a lot of places are left with a skeleton staff. Um, so it's quiet. So what's happened is that people haven't arrived yet. People are possibly travelling today, or they're going to travel in the morning. I know our neighbour Francois will probably be here quite early in the morning. I normally hear there's a roller shutter on the end of her house, and I normally hear that go up, and I know that she's arrived, and she gets here from Paris, and then she's off again to go shopping. So, and she did say earlier in the week that she'd be here soon. So I imagine she'll be here tomorrow. But it's like there's some sort of ritual that you have your holiday at the same time as everybody else. Whereas in the UK, it's quite staggered, isn't it? If you want to go off and have a holiday in May, you have a holiday in May, and if you want one in October, you have one in October. And um, I never have been one for ritual, so that's possibly where I'm going wrong. But I realise that I'm I sometimes feel that I'm not paying attention. It's like the art lesson comes to an end. Art lessons stop for the holidays, and I go, "Oh, was it the holidays?" They stop for Easter. Oh, it's Easter. They stop for, it's called Toussaint, but it's the October half term break in the UK. But here it's Toussaint, which is Halloween. Um, and again, it's like, oh, really? Okay, it stopped. I don't notice the changing. I don't notice the shift from one thing to another. And so I don't think I'll ever, even my language is not good enough anyway, ever to be integrated and fluent and all of that. But actually, my body clock will always make me separate from those French people that seem to be doing stuff in the evenings when I'd rather be comfortable and at home and be able to decide to go to bed if I want to go to bed. So, but maybe it is an age thing. I don't know. I mean, Mark's 74, and I can't know how that feels. I mean, he doesn't look 74, and sometimes he's not, he doesn't do things that I think a 74-year-old would be doing, or he's doing things that I don't think a 74-year-old should be doing, but I don't know what 74-year-olds should be doing. But yeah, it's where I think we like being at home, and we like being quiet, and yeah, dragging ourselves out when we're sort of quite low in energy is just not attractive, which is a shame, because some of this stuff is just up the road and we're missing it. And it's sort of, some people might say, you've got all this stuff around, you've got all this culture, all this entertainment, and you're not using it, and it's free, and you're not enjoying it. And I'm thinking, okay, but I'm enjoying my life, and it's lovely that that's there, and I have been and I have seen it, but I'm enjoying my life, and this is how my life is. And um, I'm not gonna force myself out when I'm comfortable at home, and I'm a bit tired, and when Mark's a bit tired. We're not going to do that. But to go out at 10 o'clock at night is not. It just doesn't work for me, not at all. Right, okay, got that off my chest, and it's warm. It's what was it when we went out? It's about 28 when we went out. I don't know what it is now. Got the shutters to where I sit closed, and the kitchen door and Mark's are half closed because the heat's coming through. So yeah, we're closing the heat out. It's quite comfortable indoors, although we've both got a fan on. But we've not had to use aircon downstairs this year. I'm not sure. We may well have had to have done had we been here for that really horrible hot weather that we were stuck in the UK for. But yeah, we haven't had to use the aircon, and I think it is because we haven't had visitors. Then when Phil and Becky were here, it was manageable, the heat, and since then we've not had visitors, so we are in control of the doors, and being in control of the doors and keeping them closed is really quite useful. So yeah, right, so have a lovely summer.